Hello everyone, my name is PJ and welcome to a shorter episode of The Void. Today we're going to be talking about a lesser known game called No Time to Explain. It originated as a flash game on Newgrounds.com and I played it back when it came out. It definitely has the look and feel of early Newgrounds, doesn't it? But I remember it really standing out from other flash games at the time in that it was actually really good. And apparently lots of other people thought so too, because it was later made into a full game called No Time to Explain Remastered, which is the version I'm reviewing. The premise of the game is that you're some unnamed dude dancing in his house when all of a sudden,
I am you from the future. There's no time to explain. Follow me to— Oh, Christ! Ah!
he drops his gun, you grab it, and you head out to save your future selves. Yeah, the game introduces a whole bunch of alternate reality versions of you, including an evil one and one who's a pro football player. As you progress through the game, you play as different versions of yourself, some of whom die, some of whom you don't realize you'll eventually become, and most of whom come in the form of unlockable heads, which are scattered throughout the game. The main mechanic of the gameplay is the gun you pick up from your future self. If you're playing with a gamepad, you move with the left joystick and fire the gun with the right. If you fire the gun in any direction, it will launch you in the opposite. Fire it at the ground to propel yourself into the air, fire it behind you to make longer jumps, fire it at enemies to damage them, but beware, doing so will push you away from them. The game has a surprisingly good physics engine. Everything has momentum, the gun works differently underwater, and there are other guns you can get later that let you latch onto walls and fling yourself around. There are other mechanics too, like setting yourself on fire to burn wood, and then putting yourself out with water before you die. There are nodes that curve your gunfire, and blocks that become deadly if they get shot. You get constant checkpoints and infinite lives in this game, but you also die in just one hit. You get 4 hits during bosses, but lose them all and the boss will reset. Would you expect a game like this to have multiplayer? Well, it does, and it's awful. When more than one person occupies the screen, the camera constantly tries to focus on all of them, making it extremely difficult for one person to time their jumps, especially if the others are moving. The players can't interact with each other, so it's more like a chaotic race to the finish. This wouldn't be so bad if the camera zoomed out to fit the entire level on one screen when more than one player was present. Multiplayer is only good for entertainment when you're high. What also sucks is that there's one point in the game where you need 2 players. So if you don't have more than one input device, like if all you have is one keyboard, or if you're playing on console and only have one controller, you'll be fucked. There might be a way to do this part solo, but I couldn't figure one out. Another disappointing aspect of the level design is that an alarming number of them can be skipped just by going up and over them. And I know it's intentional because there are hidden collectibles up there. I don't want to skip the level, I want to play it. But the game is really short. It took me about 2.5 hours to beat the main story, and 30 minutes of that was spent trying to play with multiplayer enabled. After you beat the game, you unlock 2 bonus levels. The first is a gauntlet of extra difficult challenges, and the second is a small collection of fan-made levels. One more particularly notable thing I should mention is the humor. When I first played this game on Newgrounds 9 years ago, I thought it was hilarious.
I spent like 2 minutes doing my hair in the morning, and this is my reward! Are games art? Who am I?
This is a really fun game with some minor flaws here and there, but it's not so amazing that I'd give it a high score. In the end, I think a 6 out of 10 is fair. I definitely recommend it if you like physics-based platforming puzzles, or if you're a huge fan of overly convoluted time travel plots. Thank you for watching.